All right, Shalom, Bezaz Mawar. First and foremost, I want to say Call Halayim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Backyard, the elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And as always, it's an honor and privilege to continue to do this work. Now, this topic is pretty much going to be an open forum, dealing with primarily prophecy and going into some news articles, and Yahweh Sharatazah within this video give a little exhortation, for whoever needs it, But when I was meditating on this video, I was thinking about the moniker, moniker that is being used in 2019 and 2020. The first being the year of Karagma, which was dealing with the RFID NFC microchip, which was perfectly coined because that's when the world, and especially within the United States, was introduced to certain corporations chipping their employees voluntarily, which was just a precursor to what's going to happen in the future when these world governments come together and microchip their whole populations, man. And then the latter being 2020 coined the year of prophecy. Now, people that remember the year 2019 and are now in or have made it to August 11th, 2020, are going to say that this is a time period of their life in which they have never experienced before. It keeps getting worse and worse. Just an article that I read earlier this morning dealing with the surge in homicides, man. The surge of death, because there's going to be many people that are going to be taken away in these days, man, through various means, man. So that's the reason why we always teach, first and foremost, the scriptures teach that you need to read, man. Says here. Just bear with me real quick. Bear with me. Yeah, okay. Let me bring out this scripture real quick. This is Second Esdras. I'm going to start at the top. The Second Esdras chapter 5 verse 1. It says, "Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the days shall come, that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number." So there's going to be a lot of mass disappearances because of death, man. That's going to happen in these times. It says, "In the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith." And you see it, man. The way of truth is pretty much being hidden, man, because you got all these different legislations being passed, these unrighteous decrees, that are restricting the practice of preaching or teaching the scriptures, especially on these social media platforms, and you got laws being made banning or restricting freedom of speech, because they have been shown, they have been revealed who they really are. So in order to try to stop the damage, they have to go through those different measures to pretty much silence the critics, because the scriptures are a harsh critic of Esau or Edom, the so-called white man, And how would you know that if the Spirit then leads you to read, man, to open your mind to receive the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man? This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. It says, "Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." Yeah, so we're in the time, man. We're in that latter day in which the scriptures always harp on, man. We're living in that time, which is a beautiful time to be alive, man. To see your enemies fall, whoever they may be, man. Primarily the Edomites, secondarily, these heathen nations, and thirdly, 2/3 of these Israelites, man. They're going to fall on this side, man. This is Amos chapter 8, verse 11. It says, "Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh the Most High, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread." So he's not talking about an ordinary famine. That's why he said, not a famine of bread. And it goes on, it says, "Nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh." So you're going to have a thirst, a hunger to hear the words of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, to hear these scriptures, to be broken down in the way that they're supposed to be, without that private interpretation, man. Real quick, hold on, because this is what happens when you Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua has his anger towards you. And this is just an example. I'm going to start at verse 14. For sake of time, this is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14. "They have blown the trumpet even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within," which is symbolic of a siege, man. Which Esau also, he's going to be blockading, or really a blockade is dealing with the siege, but he's really going to be sieging these cities, man. So nothing could go in and nothing could come out. It says, "And the pestilence and the famine within, he that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him." Yeah, because if you think about it, what are people always talking about? Oh, they always recite the verse, I believe it's in Mark and Luke and maybe in Matthew, flee into the mountains, man. which we did do that during the time of 70 AD. And I'm saying we as the nation of Israel, man, predominantly the southern kingdom, because the kingdoms had split at that time, man. When they fled from the Roman armies through the Sahara Desert, man, in North Africa until they journeyed to East Africa, man, or Slovakia, West Africa, where you'll find Ghana, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, and so on and so forth, Morocco. It says, famine and pestilence shall devour him, but they that escape of them shall escape, and shall be on the mountains like doves of the valleys, all of them mourning every one for his iniquity. Yeah, and that's how the elect are going to escape in these times, man. They're going to scarcely be saved. We're going to praise Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai in that time, man. Ecstatic that we were a part of that number, man. That we believed and we were gifted the gift to be a part of that number, man. That we're precious, man, in the sight of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's eyes. You see, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has lost none, and he's not going to lose any of the members of the elect, man. Continuing, it says, all hands shall be feeble. Another word for feeble is weak. And all knees shall be weak as water. When your knees start to shaking, man, when you're terrified, it says, they shall also gird themselves with sackcloth. And just imagine, what do people fear nowadays? Going to prison, right? Just imagine you go to court and you might not necessarily be sentenced that same exact day, or you might have to go through arrangement, and the possibility is a life in prison. I'll just say something like that. That will make you horrified, man. That will put you in fear, spending the rest of your life in prison, man. I'm just making an example of the type of fear that just might come upon an individual, but it's going to be increased considering the fact that the Most High is going to put that spirit on them that they can't control, Verse 18, it says, they shall all, because just imagine the mighty man, they're going to be in fear. Continuing, they shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them. And sackcloth is a attire of someone who's in mourning, man. Because for a while, these people were in mourning. All these people living in this world, they were partying, bullshitting, wanting to have fun, always seemed like they didn't have no care in the world, man. But in all actuality, they weren't really sighing and crying. They weren't sighing and crying for all the abominations that be done in the midst of Babylon, man. They didn't read the scriptures where it says a wise man scarcely smiles, man. It says, and horror shall cover them, and shame shall be upon all faces. Yeah, shame is going to be upon all faces, man. It says, and baldness upon all their heads. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Yeah, because eventually the silver and the gold ain't going to mean too much of shit, man. People are going to be conditioned they're going to be conditioned to just use that RFID NFC for a primary source of transactions, man. And also that gold and silver is not going to save you from judgment. It says their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Yahweh. So your monetary possessions, your whatever you got that is of value is not going to be able to ransom your life, man. You're not going to be able to buy yourself into the good graces of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, you're not going to be able to buy mercy. So that gold and that silver is not going to save you in these times, man. It's all if you are of the elect or not, man. If you're not of the elect, you might get domed by a Barrett 50 caliber and the sniper is a mile away, man, or close to a mile away. While you're counting that gold or silver, man, you know, and I'm not talking about brothers that's in the truth, because the Most High, He has angels protecting them, you know, which you understand and you get experience when the Most High puts you in certain situations. You often sometimes marvel about how you even got out of those situations, man. But that's the Most High. His angels are all around working the minds of different individuals for your favor, man. You know, which He's trying to put you in a certain situation to see if you're going to fold, to see if you're going to deny Him. You know? Because everything the Most High controls. Even me speaking these words while I'm doing this video. It says, their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of wrath of Yahweh. They shall not satisfy their souls. And I'm going to make put something out there too. Whether if I'm speaking the truth or not, man. The Most High controls that. You know, the Most High set up deceiving prophets. The Most High set up men that were going to tell you the truth. But what do you have to do as maybe a newcomer or a proselyte or someone new in the faith? You got to make sure the things that I say are so. Just as the Church of Berea, man. You know, because there's many false prophets out there. There's many converted, what do you want to call it? Pretty much demons that convert themselves to an angel of light. You know, there's a lot of wolves and sheep clothing out there, man. You know? So you got to watch out for everybody. It says, because your faith is on, your salvation is on the line, man. And I'm not one to, I don't use a sleight of hand or whatever to rob somebody of their salvation, you know. Continuing, it says, their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of wrath of Yahweh. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. So all these things that is coming upon the people is for amendment, is for punishment, man. It says, as for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty, but they made the images of their abominations and of their detestable things therein. Therefore have I set it far from them, and I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. And who's the wicked of the earth? It's you Edomites, man. There's 3 classifications of men. 1, numero uno, the sons of God, Yasha Allah. 2, the sons of men, all these other nations. And 3, the sons of the wicked, which is you Edomites, man. You know. Continuing, it says, into the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Yeah, man, that's almost what you got going on today, because it's the same people coming back, man. You know, the arrogancy of these people is dwindling, man, coming to naught. You know, they're finna run through your houses. They're finna take possessions of your houses. Because despite the executive order in which Donald Trump signed, it only could last for so long, man. And what's happening with this economy is going to get progressively worse. This is a currency reset, man, which is going to be the solution is going to be the RFID NFC chip, the cashless based system to so-called protect people from this pathogen or whatever that they put out there, man, that they concocted in their mind, man, in which they want all people to get inoculated just like they want all people to get chipped, which makes perfect sense that it's going to happen simultaneously, man. You know? It says, verse 25, it says, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Yeah, so when this great destruction happens, like you got going on all throughout the world, and you got already going in America, man. It's just going to get worse, and you people are going to seek peace. You're going to wish America was made great again, but you're going to see nothing but destruction, man. You know? It says, and there shall be none. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest. Yeah, so you people are going to seek a vision of the prophet in these times. After they remove the men from off the streets, man, even during this whole shelter in place, you know, those that follow the scriptures, or those that, I wouldn't even say that, those that were allowed to, you know, based upon the laws that are set up, that are ordained by the Most High, you know, they were in the house making videos, man. Lightweight went underground, you know. But eventually there ain't going to be a time in which you're going to see men out there preaching the word, man, because of the famine of the word. Continue, it says, but the law shall perish from the priests, and counsel from the ancients. The king shall mourn, and the priest shall be clothed with desolation. And the hands of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their way, and according to their deserts will I judge them, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. You know? So this is all going to come to pass, man, as you see it unraveling today. But going back to Amos chapter 8, verse 11, it says, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh the Most High, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. Yeah, man. So these people are going to be desperate for the truth, man. These people are going to be seeking answers, man. You know? Let me see. I'm going to continue. It says, in that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst, they that swear by the sin of Samaria, and say, thy power, O Dan, liveth, and the manner of Beersheba liveth, even they shall fall and never rise up again. You know? Because these people are going to lose their mind not having Esau, because their whole security is through the words of the man that is in power, man. That's why the elders always say a woman loves a man with power, you know, and being a man of power, these people are more prone to take everything that comes out of your mouth as gold, man. But what happens when that is taken away? Then you people are going to lose your minds. You're not going to know what way to go, you know, and that's the reason why lock it. That's the reason why wisdom and knowledge is going to be your stability, man. in these times that we're in. And this is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. It says, "In wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure." Yeah, the fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Because if you have fear, that is the beginning of wisdom, man. And it says, "Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times." And these people have no fear towards Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. But they fear Satan, man. These people are terrified of Satan, the depiction in which this world presents to the masses of what Satan is. They fear Satan, but they don't fear the one that created Satan, man. They don't fear Satan's father, which is Yahweh. So the main thing that you're seeing taking place right now on the world stage is a transition of systems, man, which they're trying to bring about this new world order to make everybody one. One world religion, one world government. Pretty much one people. Just as they did in the Tower of Babylon, one language. That's why they got Google Translate. You can translate anything you want in whatever language that you want, man. This is Genesis chapter 11, verse 1. It says, "And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had bricks for stone, and slime had they for mortar." Yeah. And what's crazy is I was watching on this special, I want to say it was the History Channel, maybe about, I don't know if it was before or after I was in the truth, but they did a reenactment of them building the Tower of Babel again. And the way that they burnt the brick was it made the brick stronger, to hold all that weight, to build the tower. Continue, it says, "And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And Yahweh came down to the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And Yahweh said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language." So it's pretty much they were building a one world government. "And this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." Yeah, because back in time, everyone was speaking Hebrew, man. But now you got all the different languages and dialects and so on and so forth now, because that was the Most High confounding their speech. So I don't believe I brought this up. I'm going to go to, let me see, 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the days shall come, that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden." So we're in the times in which many that dwell in this world are going to be taken. And you see 200 people just got blasted away in Beirut, Lebanon. I just read an article, if I didn't mention it already, about the surge in homicides in the United States. You got police brutality, you got gang violence going on, you got people desperate, falling into desperate times, robbing banks, losing their businesses, losing their unemployment insurance, so things is going to ratchet up. It says, and the land shall be barren of faith, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. Yeah, so that's why you got different cases of renowned men, according to this world, being targeted for human sex trafficking or being involved in pedophilia rings or child sex rings, man. You know, which you got Maxine. I think her last name is Gaislin or Goslin. You know, who was the mistress of Jeffrey Epstein. Now she's about to be on trial, but I believe it's called a disposition. And her disposition from her previous trial, she was naming all types of names like Prince. I think it's Williams, either Williams or Henry, if I'm not mistaken. I think Harry's the little one, then the older brother's Henry, but they're either their uncle or their father, man, being implicated in the Lolita Island, you know? So that just shows you the wickedness, man. You got Bill Clinton involved, you got Hillary Clinton involved, you got a lot of so-called Democrats, and you got Donald Trump, you know, that are good friends with them, man. So you just see the wickedness that's exceedingly grown upon this place, man. You know, it says, and the land that thou seest now to have roots shall thou see wasted suddenly. And how is it going to be wasted suddenly? By thermonuclear missiles and the sword of Yahweh Shai, which is those laser beams, right? It says, but if the Most High grant thee to live, so you have to be granted to live, man. And who's going to grant you to live? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Can't no man say that, oh, Yahweh's going to put you to death, or you're part of this group of people, or this, that, and the third, because that man doesn't even know if he's of the elect, or if he ain't finna be destroyed, or if he ain't going to lose faith when they're put in a moment of desperation, and so on and so forth, man. You know? It says, but if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day, and blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled. And even he shall rule whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth, and the fowls shall take their flight away together, and the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish, and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, which you see that going on. It says, and the menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. And these people are nothing but monsters, man. You know, little monsters that grow up to be big monsters. Like my man, I believe his name was Cody Scott, man. Monster Cody, you know. Which Alizé interviewed him before, and I read his book growing up. You know, it was called Monster. Verse 9, it says, and salt waters shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into a secret chamber. That's cold. I read it wrong, Salaki. It says, then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber, which all goes back to the famine of the word, man, which goes back to the wisdom and knowledge, or wisdom and understanding. You know, well, what you got to have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding shall be the stability of the times that we're in. I'm going to read this word, wit, dictionary.com. It says, the keen perception and cleverly apt expression of those connections between ideas that awaken amusement and pleasure, speech or writing showing such perception and expression, a person having or noted for such perception and expression, understanding, intelligence, or sagacity, well, fuck it. I'll just, I'll let Esau say it, you know, which I'm trying to get in the habit of doing. Sagacity. Okay, sagacity, which means acuteness of mental discernment and soundness of judgment, which is your wit. You know, and how are you going to have that discernment, mental discernment? How are you going to have that soundness of judgment? By understanding and knowing these scriptures, man. That's how it's going to be the stability of your times, man. You know, let me... Sagacity. You know, so that's a word that I need to put in my repertoire, you know, my vocab, you know. So that's it on that definition. Continue, it says, and shall be sought of many. So many are going to seek that wisdom and knowledge, man. And yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth. And I'm going to look up that word. Incontinency, right? Which is another word. I mean, incontinency is another word of incontinent, which is unable to restrain natural discharges or evacuations of urine or feces, unable to contain or retain, usually followed by lacking in moderation or self-control, especially a sexual desire, unceasing or unrestrained. So people are going to be unrestrained, because when you read up, it says unrighteousness. So people are going to be even more and more wicked, you know, which the Bible always speaks about. Wickedness shall increase. Verse 11, one land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say, no. At the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. To show thee such tokens I have leave. And if thou wilt pray again and weep as now and fast 7 days, thou shalt hear yet greater things. You know, so the times that we're in right now, this is the time in which you need to be learning, man. To be fortifying your faith, you know, these scriptures, you know, and meditating on them, you know, because it's gonna be needed. Oh shit. Because it's gonna be needed in that time, man. Just bear with me real quick. So that's the reason why the Most High has opened up or created the internet, so you can receive the word, man, day and night, right? And this is Isaiah, Isaiah chapter 62, verse 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of Yahweh, keep not silence. You know? It says, and give him no rest, till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. You know? So, being watchmen, we're to give the enemy, which are enemies of these, chiefly Esau, these Edomites, and these other nations, we should give them no rest, man. You know? So with that, I'm going to just go into some articles. I'm on the drudgereport.com. I'll probably just read the headline and then bring out a scripture. Or if it's a real good article, then I'll read the article. I'll just read some of these headlines. It says, with no end to pandemic in sight, coronavirus fatigue grips nation. Hawaii seen fastest spread. Florida deaths reach another grisly record. Cuomo adds more states to quarantine list. $250 fine in Hoboken for not wearing mask outside. Big Ten pulls plug on fall football season. You know, because all these what are you people gonna do when you're not distracted, man? And then that reality sets in that everything is not as good as you thought it was, man. You know, because the main thing that has distorted your vision is these distractions. And distractions coming in the form of entertainment, man. Slocky. Yeah. So what do these distractions come in as? The entertainment, man. You people are severely entertained. You look for entertainment, especially going through the nuisance of being at home. All of a sudden, that pretty much destroy your normal lives, man. Your normal routines. You know, you can't go and do the same thing that you once took pleasure in doing, man. You know, because everything is shut down. You know, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 6. Says, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. So folly is set in great dignity, man. You know? So that's what you people concern yourselves in, man, and it's just gonna keep on going. You know, these people don't care if there's fans in the stadiums or not. The show must go on, man. They still have a product to push out there, you know, to entertain you people, to distract you people. That bread and circus, man. If I'm not mistaken, that's was something that Rome increased. The Colosseum, the gladiator games, the bread and circus to keep you people mind off the fact that your empire is crumbling, man.
Strong's H 5529. Sechel.
Which is folly, silliness, concretely and collectively. Adults folly. So pretty much bullshit, man. Like somebody I knew in the world, but known for the majority of my life, he told me that people got life and bullshit fucked up, man. You know, and how do you obtain life? You obtain it through this word, man. But the bullshit is the folly that distracts you from wanting to obtain it from this word that brings life, man. You know, you people have an insatiable desire of death. So going back to Drudge, it says Big Ten pulls plug on fall football season. So that's a distraction that you people are gonna lack. So your college students ain't gonna play. Now that's gonna trickle down all the way down from the all collegiate is gonna be probably canceled. Then you're gonna have high school canceled, Pop Warner, so on and so forth, man. Because it's gonna be a domino effect. It says to escape illness, grandma's living in backyard. San Quentin disaster exposes dangerous roads, herd immunity. You know, delay detail checkups until risk known. In wake of lockdowns, troubling surge in homicides, which I mentioned already. Which let me pull it up. Because during this time, man, people are, like I keep bringing out that word, desperate. And they're willing to do anything as their survival instincts, their animal survival instincts kick in. Whether it to be to fight or flight. So I'm going to read this article. It's from dnyuz.com. Let me bookmark it so I don't forget. It says, in the wake of COVID-19 lockdowns, a troubling surge in homicides. It started with an afternoon stop at a gas station. Two customers began exchanging angry stares at the pumps outside, and no one could explain exactly why. That led to an argument, and it escalated quickly, as one of them pulled a gun and they struggled over it, according to police. There's too many shootings, please don't do this, the wife of one of the men pleaded, stepping between them. But by the time the fight was over at the station on Kansas City's east side last month, the all too familiar crackle of gunfire pierced the human air, leaving another person dead in what has been an exceedingly bloody summer. You know? So what do the scriptures say, man? So even though you have a woman, which really a lot of people die because of these women, you know, a lot of people die because of these women. It seems like everybody want to call me right now. Hold on, let me pause the video real quick. Okay, Salakia, I'm back. So just reading that article, I'm gonna go to the scriptures and just show you this is what's happening all throughout the world, man. People are not giving a shit. You know, this is St. Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, man. So that's the reason why you have them declaring a bloody summer. Now, this is pretty much breaking news for August 11th, 2020. Dealing with the election, the presidential race. You have Sleepy Joe, a.k.a. Joe Biden, picks, Slovakia. This is from Politico.com. It says Biden picks Kamala Harris as VP nominee. Now, I'm not too familiar about Kamala Harris as much as the Akim and the Bay Area GMS camp are, because I think she serves as something. She serves as a senator. And I think her district, or she used to be, I forget her background, but she used to be a public official in the Bay Area somewhere. But Sleepy Joe, he wanted to select her, so, you know, which shows you that America's through, man. You know, America's through. Which I'm gonna get a few scriptures. Let me bring this one out first. This is Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 22. It says, "How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man." Now, let's look up the word compass real quick.
Compass.
Which is a verb. It says to go or move around, make the circuit of, to extend or stretch around, hem in, surround, and circle. You know, I'm gonna look it up in the blue letter as well. Bear with me, Strong's.
Strong's H 5437. Savav. Savav.
Strong's definitions. Sabab. Primitive root, to revolve, surround or border, using various applications, literally and figuratively, bring, cast, fetch, lead, make, walk, whirl, round about, be about on every side, apply, avoid, beset, about, besiege, bring again, carry about, change, cause to come about, circuit, compass about, round, derive, in run on every side, beset, come close, compass, go, stand, round about, enclose, remove, return, set, sit down, turn, self, about, aside, away, back. So, you know, so basically I'm just reading on, basically to revolve, right? You know? So women are going to have more, I'll say, more privileges, going back to I'll say, the pact in which the serpent had with the Eve in the garden. You shall be as gods, man. You shall have that authority, you know, as just as a man has, or equal rights, you know. And this is which women do have, because that's what the whole civil rights movement was for, man. It was for women. It was for this homosexual shit that you got going on right now, man. This is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12. It says, "But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man." You know, so you got these Christians that claim that they're in the spirit, you know, all while they have a woman behind the pulpit trying to teach them the word without testicles, you know, to give a testimony. You know,
Usurp.
it says to seize and hold a position, office, power, etc., by force or without legal right. To use without authority or right employed wrongfully, to commit forcible or illegal seizure of an office, power, etc., encroach. Yeah, because they don't have a legal right to usurp authority over a man according to the scriptures, because the scriptures give an order, man, on how things should be. Let's see if I can find that. And this is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1. It says, be followers of me, even as I also am a Hamashiach. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is Yahweh. You know? So that's the order. So the head of every man is Yahweh Shai. It says, and the head of the woman is her man. You know? And that's how the order is supposed to be. But dealing with Esau, he changes that, man. He allows women to vote. He allows women to hold office, man. Which brings nothing but death, man. Which I'm going to read a few verses. First, this is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 24. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, because she was the one that was deceived by those lies, man, those different philosophies. It says, and through her we all die. So through her we all die, man. So you can't have a woman leading the way, man. You know, now you're going to have all these different people like these feminists, you know, or these sympathizers. Oh, we got all these Queen of Heaven worshipers. Oh, we got to give women a chance. We got to put them on a pedestal. We got to treat them delicately, you know. And they're going to be destroyed by these women, man. And that's them losing their wits over a woman, which wits goes back to discernment. Jumping back to verse 17, verse 19, it says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman, you know? So just imagine all the wickedness that Kamala Harris has done and all the wickedness that Sleepy Joe has done, man. You know, and all these different politicians and so on and so forth, man. Just imagine all the wickedness that they've done, man, that is going to be revealed. It says, let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. You know, and all have sinned, man. That's why in certain situations you find that your woman is against you, you know, and she reveals it through her actions, and her actions lead to consequences, man, that reaffirm that these women are wicked, man. You know, so let me see if I can find some other articles. Facebook bans blackface, anti-Semitic stereotypes, and hate update, which all that Semitic or anti-Semitic is just a play on words. You know, there's many people that are Semitic or come from the line of Shem, not just those Amalekites that came out of the line of Shem Edomites. Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman that runs Epstein, taken off suicide watch, which the Bible says, do not destroy do not destroy yourself in the era of your life. You know, not quoting verbatim. Says economic crisis in Kentucky has workers, businesses furious with McConnell, which is going to lead to sedition, man. They're going to be rioting, and just like in England, they're going to go right to your damn doorstep, you know, demanding for your resignation or demanding for your head, man. Just like they're doing in Beirut right now, blaming the government. Real quick, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 16. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power," man. You know? So eventually these people are gonna rise up against their elected officials, man. It says virus back in New Zealand after 102 days. Philippines, Duarte volunteers to take it. Putin daughter inoculated. Russia claims vax victory, which you shouldn't be getting the vaccination anyway. She's a nasty and disrespectful. Tech millionaire McCaffrey arrested for wearing lacy thong as mask. China increases military drills as tensions with USA heat up. China's going to be one of those nations to shoot their missiles on America, man. Man shot near White House. LA Times in crisis. Digital subscription goals missed. Top editor asleep in meetings. You know, so that's America for you. Going to blacklisted.com. Pentagon gives up huge slice of spectrum for 5G. U.S. bankruptcies on track for 10-year high, with more than 100 consumer companies already filing. Yeah, which reminds me of the grinding season, man, because there are a few grinders. Which is Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. Please bear with me. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few." And another word for grinders is workers, man, those that are employed. It says, "And those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." And that's why you see the entertainment industry is in shambles, man. You know, they're doing drive-through concerts now. You know, these bands that became famous in the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s and whatnot. You know, which they're not even making any money off of that. You know, so I'm going to go to the next site, which pretty much reiterates what's on the other sites. RT, which was pretty much reflective of what I read on the sites, especially Drudge Report. So I want to read these scriptures to fulfill my promise. Certain brothers might be in a certain situation, you know, so I would just want to read a few scriptures to let them know that we all go through the chastisement of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, and it doesn't seem, it's not present at the moment, man, especially if it's a person that the Most High put against you, man. You know, examples of that is Saul. You know, Saul was cool with David 1 minute, and then the next minute he wanted him dead. He wanted him killed. Tried to kill him. You know, yeah, he always was trying to kill King David for whatever reason, even if David was trying to apologize or didn't know what he was mad at. Really, it was Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua setting it up like that to cause tension between the two houses, man. You know, the house of Saul and the house of David, man. You know, which neither one of them was what you would call a saint, you know, one who was perfect, you know, but the Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, he chose King David, you know, which both houses will be in the kingdom anyway, but the house of David is the chief house, you know. But I'm going to go and continue with what I was going to read. This is Hebrews chapter 12. I'll just start at the top, right? It says, "Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience." So you got to have patience, the race that is set before us. And you got to understand that the race isn't given to the swift, man. You got to pace yourself. When you think about running a 40-mile race, which is a marathon, you're not going to go full speed and expect not to get burnt out the whole duration of the race. You might drop dead of a heart attack, man. But yet, instead, what do? They start off at a reasonable pace, man, and then they pace themselves so they won't get tired. You know, not saying that what you already know, I'm relating it to this truth. Not saying that you don't need to keep a considerable amount of effort or have a considerable amount of effort in this truth. Is just don't be over righteous, or you're gonna destroy yourself, man. It's about keeping that balance, and you're gonna find what your balance is. My balance might not be your balance. Your balance might not be another brother's balance, man. You know, but as the scriptures do say, obey them which have the authority, right? And that includes the government of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, which is right now on earth is led by the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which say do 3 videos a week, man, right? Continue, it says, looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and finisher of our faith. So Yahweh Shai is the author and finisher of our faith, not anybody else. Who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your mind. So we got to meditate on what Yahweh Shai went through, because he went through it before we did, man. You know, false brothers coming up against him. You know, even with certain men of the Lord, like I mentioned King David, man. You know, you got even dudes that made a pact to not eat, and I think not to sleep until Paul was dead, man. You know, those are all in the scriptures. It says, So you got to understand that when you're going through this walk, right? Verse 4, ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So we shouldn't, the scriptures say we shouldn't despise it, man. But being in his flesh, yeah, at first it's uncomfortable. But when you're at the end of something, watch. Let me read this. Read this real quick. When you're at the end of something, then you start to realize that it wasn't as bad as it was. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 8. It says, "Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof." Because when you first go into something, you're just like, oh shit, I don't want to do it, or this, that, or you just got that, I'll say agitated spirit, man, right? It says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Yeah, so if you just be patient with whatever you're going through, then that's being better than the proud in spirit to act like, well, I'm not going to say that or say, because I don't have an example that I want to give. Or should I say, you don't want to be proud in the way that you were pretty much overly agitated about what you're going through, and not realizing that it's for your pretty much for your correction. Let me look up the word chasten, which I'm gonna let Esau say it. Chasten says to inflict suffering upon for purposes of moral improvement. So the things we go through, as much as we don't want to go through it, is for moral improvement. It says to restrain, subdue, to make chaste in style. So the things that we're going through is for moral improvement, man. It's to better us, right? It says, my son, despise not thou the chastening of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. So don't be faint. Don't become weak that you fall out, man. The word faint, lacking brightness, vividness, clearness, loudness, strength, feeble or slight, feeling weak, dizzy or exhausted, about to lose consciousness, going dark, becoming a reprobate, feeling weak, don't want to do it anymore, exhausted, you tired, So, going back to the scriptures, verse 6 says, for whom Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. So everyone that is catching hell, they have a good chance of being the sons of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. If they indeed endure unto the end, man. Verse 7, it says, if ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? So if you ain't taking no L's, then who are you? If you always winning, who are you? Verse 8, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. So if you ain't catching hell in this truth, then chances are you're not of the elect, man. You're not of the you're not a man of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. But if you are taking chastisement, if you are catching hell, that's a good thing. If you going through certain situations that need moral improvements, then that's a good thing. As long as you're learning from them and growing. Chapter 2, it says, My son, if thou come to serve Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon you, Slakia, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So for whoever it may apply, I hope you know that whatever you're going through is for your betterment, man. Whatever I go through is for my betterment. Whatever this brother goes through is for his betterment, and Yahweh Shah Ratazah, you get through it. So with that, I hope at least one brother elect was edified, and I'm going to say Shalom.